That doesn't quite look right, does it? Little cattywampus. Huh? Maybe like that? Maybe? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Christian here. Today, I'm going to share some things with you. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to share with you because there are things that I share with you and there are things that I don't. Simply because sometimes I feel like I'm not supposed to. But sometimes I don't share them because I don't have full understanding of whatever's shown to me, and I'm kind of holding on to it to wait to see what else the Lord gives me about it, or I'm praying into it, trying to understand it better. So we're going to go through various different things. Basically, stay to the end of this video because there's going to be lots of different things dropped in this video. First off, I want to say, if you are not subscribed or the bell notification thing on YouTube, you probably don't know this. So let me tell you, I posted yesterday that I had just passed the FTMO free trial, and if you've been following for a while, you know about that, and you know it's one of the things the Lord had shown me that I would actually end up passing not the free trial, but the paid challenge and the verification on that one. So passing the free trial, it was interesting because the reason why it matters is because you're using a free trial, but you're going through the same motions. You're learning as you're not costing you anything, but basically what you're doing is you're testing your strategy. And whenever something doesn't work, you alter your strategy and you try that one. And then if that doesn't work, you do this again. And that's what I've been doing for several months now, only I've been doing it with real money. And so 20 grand later, it's an expensive education in a short period of time. So everything I've been trying, like I said, I passed one FTMO paid challenge, but I didn't like how I did it, basically, and I didn't feel like I could keep that going. So I had to redesign the strategy again and try it again, so forth and so on. So basically, this last challenge I just passed shows that the strategy I'm using is profitable and something I can continuously repeat to produce a positive result. And that one, I think I had made like over 10 grand and actually I made almost all that in one day. But I'll repeat that process again, and then I'll go out and buy another challenge for the real deal, right? So the main thing that I want to highlight, why does that matter to you, is because I didn't even notice, but after I had passed it, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and then I kind of just was done with that train of thought. And the Lord said that was a breakthrough. And I was like, oh, it was. That I have not even thought of it in that way because it's a free trial. So I was like, it didn't really matter, But it does matter because it shows a change in your outcome based on what you're doing, which has been changing every single day that you've learned something, you've altered and altered and altered, and now you've got, boom, this positive result. Anyway, it's a positive thing because it's confirmation of the breakthrough that we've all been waiting for. I know it's a little thing, so consider it like the cloud about the size of a man's hand. Yeah, that's what I just saw. And so I, like I said in the past video, what I'm expecting here is a move of God that's going to affect many people, and you're going to start to hear more and more testimonies of people getting breakthroughs in various different areas, and they're going to amass to be anyway, you'll know it's God. But just keep your spiritual ear attuned for the reports of positive blessings in people's lives, okay? So move that aside. The next thing I want to talk about, some of this I shared with you, and some of it I haven't. So I want to share it all with you now that I can, off the top of my head. At some point in time, the Lord had told me, for various different reasons and various different things, he had shown me, okay, you're going to go to Aspen. This is something that I've never wanted to do. I've never thought of Aspen. I'm not a skier. I don't even know how to ski. I don't have money that would warrant me ever going to Aspen, that type of thing, right? So it's never been in my mind to ever go to such a place. However, the Lord highlighted it in one of my dreams he gave me, where he told me it'd be better when you get to Aspen. And at another point in time, I thought, well, that's an expensive place, and I'd rather not go to an expensive place. And, I gave all my own reasonings, and and asked God, could I go somewhere else? Could I go to Montana? And he showed me that I could. It was. I think the words in the dream, it was shown to me. It was said it was possible. So that was kind of my plan. It was like, all right, God wants me to go to the mountain. Well, I'll go to a different mountain, but I'll go to a mountain, you know. And as you can imagine, any Christian who's spent time with God long enough knows that eventually that's going to start to weigh on you. You're going to wonder, why did God choose that one? And will I really get the same result by going to a different one? Probably not. And so over time, I started to line up with exactly what God said, you know, because it's just part of maturing. You learn over time. Sometimes it takes us a long time, but over time you learn, do it the way God said to do it. But no sooner that I had agreed to this concept, you know, I had a dream where the Lord shows me California, and he's highlighting to me the coast, right? And it's like he's showing me, like saying, you know, pick. And I'm like, I don't like California. I mean, I'm born, raised, you know, partially in California. I don't care for the politics, and I give all kinds of reasons why I don't want to do that, you know. And I could save so much more money and going and doing something else, and it's less, you know, issues that I have with California that I don't want to deal with, you know. But he kept pointing me in that direction, and I'm like, okay, no, wait a minute. Now you got me a little bit confused, because you're telling me to go here, but you're also telling me to go there, you know. So he's explaining this stuff to me, but at the same time, I'm still not wanting to go do the California thing. So anyway, finally, I get around to saying, okay, your will, right? Not mine. And, you know, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, you know. And so I come to my plan, and that's what I'm going to do. Again, just do what God tells you to do. It won't be the same for everybody, but it'll be the right thing. Whatever he tells you to do, do that thing. So, obviously, right? So I come in my mind to the point of say, okay, now I will do California, right? And on occasion, I'll have some free time. I will go through and look at various different homes and things like that in California to see what this stuff is going to cost. You know, it's very expensive. And so I try to find stuff within my mental budget, and that was about $1 million. That's what I like to not spend more than, right? It's a big round number, and it buys you more in other states than it buys you in the state of California. But in any event, that's my logic, right? And I've even warned people in videos in the past where I've said, you know, when God blesses you and he gives you the wealth, right, that you know it's coming, that wealth transfer, right, which is just shorthand for the wealth of the wicked laid up for the righteous is being transferred over, right, land of Canaan, right, the Israelites going and taking it. When that happens, don't squander it. Don't go out and buy a couple mansions and a whole wall full of shoes and things like that. And I'm very down on what I see in media today, what people think is a good way to spend money. Because to me, I remember the story of Lazarus, right? It's the rich man, and he's got everything, and there's a poor person laying at his gate with sores, and the guy doesn't give him any mind, any thought. He just keeps, I want to tear down what I've got and build even bigger and better, you know. And then the guy, of course, dies, and he has to face this reality of what he did. He squandered this wealth and never took a moment for Lazarus. And so basically what I'm trying to get to is basically saying, use what God gives you wisely, right? So that's my mentality. That I'm a fan of Warren Buffett as an investment strategy, his method, and he's very frugal as well. And I think that's the right direction, right? And that's the way I think of things. However, as I was being moved along by the Holy Spirit and things, he started to show me and refer to like California as being my inheritance, right? And he started to talk about it as though you are the Israelites going in and taking possession of the land, right? This is what how he's referring to this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's all right. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I haven't really considered it that way, but okay, you know, if that's what you're saying, then that's what we're doing, right? So the land matters. And then as I'm looking for this house that we would someday live in, the Lord kind of reiterates to me, he's like, that's not the coast. And I'm like, that's right, you did show me the coast, but if I go to the coast, it's gonna be harder for me to find something within my budget, you know? And so I go and I'm looking near the coast, right, to find something within my budget that would be lining up with what God had showed me and what God was telling me. And then I have this dream, and in this dream, I don't see really anything except for my wife. She's pulling out this drawer out of the bottom of a fridge, and we're cleaning it out or something, and we're taking it outside, and there's a seawall right outside the house, you know. And then I climb over the seawall, and then there's the ocean, and then I can't remember all the details, but it was like there's cities revealed to me in the dream. I'm not certain on all the details, so I'm not going to try to share that with you. But basically, it was kind of giving me some guidance, you know. But I didn't see the house or anything like that, so I couldn't get anything other than the only thing I actually got from the dream was that when he said the coast, he meant the coast. I mean, there's a seawall right outside your house, you know, kind of thing. So be on the coast. And then I was like, you know, that's just as expensive a piece of property as you can find is like that, you know. But God didn't care. He wasn't trying to keep me on a budget that I was trying to keep. He's trying to make a point. He's trying to say something. He's trying to do something with us. And what was getting in the way of that was me. I was thinking, well, I know what's right, and I know how to do things, and I know, no, you don't. And you need to follow God even when things are weird, all right? So I started to think about it. It's like, wait a minute. If you had the kind of money that God's showing me is having, what does it really cost? As a percentage of your net worth, what does it cost you to buy that house there or that house there? Nothing. I mean, it's a small fraction of what you have, you know? In fact, those of you that own houses probably have spent a larger percent of your net worth on your home than the rich man has spent on his, you know? So our way of thinking is off. And so anyway, that was just one of the things that the Lord was showing me. So I'm just sharing with you that this is something that when the Lord provides you this way out, this way through, this way to conquer whatever it is, to overcome it and to take whatever God is showing you, don't cross your feet and say, no, I'm not going to go that way because it doesn't fit what I'm used to or doesn't fit how I've been raised to think. Follow the Holy Spirit. What he tells you to do. I already know that I'm going to get negative comments for some of the things that I will do in the future, but I will do them because God told me to do them, you know? And that's a good segue into something else. You guys recall this dream I've spoken of in the past. And in this dream, there's an old man and his wife, and I'm at their house, and I see my sister there at the end of the dream. And my sister, when I go to show her this thing that God has given me, when he has given me the lottery, and I go to show it to her, she shushes me. She says, shh. And very loud, actually, shh, forcefully. And she looks back at the TV, and she's like, I want to see if I won the lottery. The Lord shared something with me of that. There's going to be people, my sister is just an example, or a person, as a representation of a group of people that you're going to come in contact with. There's various different groups in this dream, but in the very end, there's this final group. And that group is, a group of people who do not want to hear what you have to say, but they will want what you have. And that's an important detail to think about. Some people are listening to me now, not because of what I have, in the sense of, you know, some wealth that I could give them or something like that, and the monetary sense. They're listening to me now because they have ears to hear. They know that what I'm saying is true wealth. It's truth, and they appreciate that. It doesn't matter if you're popular, if you're famous, if you're rich, they don't care about that. They care about the word. Those are the people who listen to you now. Remember them. Those are the ones you're gonna hold in a different esteem, right? In a different light, and you're gonna want to bless them. You're gonna remember them in a different way. There's gonna be others. As soon as God blesses you, they're gonna come out of the woodwork. Everybody's gonna be your friend. But were they there, or are they there because of what you're saying and they value those words? They'll pretend that's the case. But are they really just there for what you can give them or what they want from you, you know? It's just a piece of warning that the Lord had shared with me in that dream, and he opened my eyes to see that. And I'm just sharing that with you, that you're going to have that group of people in your life as well. And some of them, like, I've considered not making YouTube videos after the fact. Like, it's going to bring, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to bring extra weight and extra hassle for no real reason, other than the fact that I think I can bless people still sharing the word of God online. So I kind of want to do it, but I don't want to make myself do it just for the sake of doing it. I don't know. I'm still praying about it, whether or not I will continue after the fact. After this is all said and done, will I still make YouTube videos? I don't know. I don't know yet. So what else did I want to share with you? There was some other stuff. Okay. Had a dream recently. And also one more thing, in case no one missed, in case it got missed. We just crossed into the new year, right? And yesterday was like the first day or the second day of that new year, cross from 5783, on the Jewish calendar, right? So, and I just had that breakthrough in the trading. So that's something that I wanted to bring to your attention. If you hadn't noticed that, there was actually, just as soon as we crossed over, boom, we had breakthrough. Like I said, very small, but it's breakthrough, right? Two more things. I had a dream, two of them. One I'll tell you about right quick, and then there's another one I have no understanding of. So I want to share it with you, and then have you, if you have any insight and understanding about the dream, let me know what it is in the comment section below, if you will. I'm always open to that, and I would love some insight on it. So let me tell you the other part. And there's actually a part of this dream that I don't understand either. So maybe you could shed some light on that as well. So anyway, in this dream, I see myself walking down a road, and I turn onto another road. I'm now on the right-hand side of this road, and I see my uncle, who is a preacher, on the left-hand side of the road. And we're both walking on the side, like the sidewalks of this road, and in the center, of course, is a road, and it goes straight to a church, his church. And we're both walking in the direction of that church. However, he is carrying a bow and arrows, and I am carrying a bow and arrows. And we walk down to either side of this church, and we get to the back of the church. And in the back of the church, I don't see a lot of people, like their faces and things like that. I know there are people there, and I see that they are shooting, they're like practicing archery, right, in the back of this church. And there's some young trees back there, and I see some young kids. And it seems a little unsafe to me when I come around the corner and I see this. I'm like, this looks a little sketchy. It's not, they don't have as much room as they should have for this practice, and they don't have the kids backed far enough away, and various different things that to me just looks a little off. And then I notice one little girl, and I just see her leg and where she's standing, and her foot is in like a little sandal, a little kid's sandal, right? And so she's standing on the ground, but I notice in the ground, there's a little hole in the ground, and it's about yay big, and there are ants, fire ants, coming out of this hole, and there's a couple on her shoe and foot. And they haven't bit her yet, but I see this as danger, and that's the end of the dream. Now, I understand in the dream that the first thing the Lord showed me, of course, is that, this is after the breakthrough, after you received power on high, right? The Lord has blessed you. You're going to be able to then go back to various different groups of people that God sends you to go and do something, right? In this particular case, I'm carrying a bow, which is interesting. I've never seen that before in a dream. And I'm not really familiar with the bow and arrow analogy. I don't understand what he's talking about here. I'm not really clear on that. And my uncle has one as well. That's interesting. And I'm on the right side. My uncle's on the left side. That's interesting. I don't really understand all that. Anyway, in the back, I understand the rest. I understand that the dream shows that there's an unsafe practice going on behind the church, and that there is an infestation at the the ground level, just beneath the surface, at the foundation area of the church. That's a problem. That needs to be dealt with. In this case, it might be anger issues. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's highlighted. The Lord is showing me this thing, and I'm still praying about what to do about this. Why are you showing me this? I mean, I can tell the person this, but I don't know that they're going to respond in any way that mattered. Or should I require these things to be changed before I do anything else? I mean, there's different questions in my mind, so I'm still praying into that. But again, there's insight in the beginning of the dream that I don't have yet. So if you have understanding of that, feel free to comment below. Now, this is the dream that was really weird to me, and it's the one I had, like the one I just shared with you was more recent. The one I'm about to share with you happened before this one. So in this dream, I'm in some kind of a building. It's like an apartment or something, and I'm looking for somebody's kid, like I'm babysitting or something. And the kid might be mentally slow. I don't know. But it seemed something was off, right? So we're now outside. I'm outside with just me and this kid. And we're in like the court square of an apartment complex. And it's just me and this kid who, I don't know how, he might be up to my waist in height, So I don't know what age group that would be, but he's about that size. And I noticed something flying in the air, and it's flying toward a tree. And at first I'm like, what, is that a shark? And I couldn't grasp what it was because of the skin, But as I got closer towards the tree that was, I don't know, 150 feet away, somewhere in that range, guessing, I noticed it's a flying harbor seal, right? A seal. And it's got no wings, right? It's just a harbor seal. So it doesn't have wings, but it's flying nonetheless toward this tree. And it flies to this tree, and there's two birds in this tree. And the tree has no leaves on it. And there's these two dark colored birds up in this tree. And the harbor seal kind of goes at him, and like he's biting at him, but not like he's really, really trying to get at him. He's just, if I get one, great. If not, oh well, kind of an attitude. And the birds are responding like they're being attacked. So they're, fluttering around and, trying to be intimidating, but they're, of course, not. Then the seal leaves them and starts to move in my direction. But as he comes towards me without ever stopping, he comes to within maybe 100 or 75 feet of me. It's still flying in the air, still above me. And he comes this way, and then immediately he arcs around me. He doesn't come any closer than that. And the whole time, we're just watching each other as we go. Nobody's taking their eyes off of him. And so it makes a semicircle around me, a whole half a circle, and then moves towards another tree. There's nothing in it, and he sits in this tree. Very weird dream. And when he's doing this, this kid and I are just sitting there, or not sitting, but we're standing there in the middle of this courtyard, which I think there's like a picnic table or something there. Anyway, and I now go up and climb up this building or structure to take a picture of this flying seal, right? And I take a picture, which, normally I would take a picture with my phone, but it was like a box, kind of an older camera kind of a thing. And I didn't really get a good look at it, but it just didn't seem, it wasn't like my phone. It was something else, like an older camera or something. And I take a picture of this seal in this tree, which, interesting enough, that's not the most amazing part. A seal in a tree is interesting, but a seal flying is more interesting. But I didn't take that picture. I took the picture of a seal in the tree. And then as I'm coming down the structure, I'm like, I don't want to break this camera and damage it. So I'm just going to leave it up here. And I'm going to climb down. I'm going to go get some people. And I'm going to bring them out and show them what's out here. This is what happened, So I take off. I go in there and I get these people. And I come back and I have a couple of people with me. And I come back and the seal's gone and my camera is gone. And that's the end of the dream. And basically, I have no idea what that dream means. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. So feel free to comment below if you have any insight. I guess that's about it. This video's getting kind of long, so God bless, take care. Please be sure to share this video if you don't mind. And I'm trying to get my view count up so I can, yeah. Anyway, God bless, take care. See you in the next one.